These snuggly or ugly sweater mug rugs are so easy to make. And aren't they just darling? And you could honestly take this idea and use some of the other templates from Missouri Star Quilt Company or design your own and make something using this same idea. So let me show you how to make them. So I'm using this idea from the Snuggly Sweater wall hanging project that I got from the Jenny's Countdown to Christmas box. I unboxed this on day 1 and day 2, so if you didn't watch it, I'll put links to those videos so you can see exactly what we got. So to make these cute little sweater mug rugs, you'll need a template. Now you could use this idea for the template or you could use any design that you want. You're going to need some light interfacing and you're going to need a fabric that you want to cut your design out of. So I'm using this cute little 5-inch square here. Then you're also going to need a background fabric and a fabric for the back of your sweater mug rug. So you can see I just matched the back to the sweater that I used on the front. I also bordered my mug rug with 1-inch strips, and I did that to the front and the back. So you'll need 4 5-inch by 1-inch strips for 2 of the sides of each of the front and the back, and then 4 1-inch by 6-inch strips for the opposite sides after the first are sewn on. I also cut some scrap batting to 5.5-inch square, and I only did 1 piece, but you could put 2 or 3 to make your mug rug as thick as you want. I cut this a 1/2 inch smaller than my finished squares so that I wouldn't have a lot of bulk in the seams once I got this project ready to sew together. So I'm going to show you the steps to put this together. So the first thing you'll want is your fusible and the design that you're using to trace. And you'll notice that your fusible may have a side with the paper and then a side that kind of has the glue. So I'm going to trace onto the side that has the paper. So I'm going to trace all the way around the template that I'm using. If you're using a Christmas tree or a stocking, just trace all the way around that. All right, so I have that traced out and now I'm just going to cut around it with my paper rotary cutter. I use this to cut like cardstock and different things, and I'm just gonna rough cut around it. All right, and so now you'll need the fabric that you're going to use for the sweater or whatever applique design you're using, and you're going to turn it over so that you're looking at the wrong side, and then place the fusible cutout that you made with the glue side facing the back of the fabric, and then you're just going to press it onto the back of the fabric per the manufacturer's instructions. And then I just let this cool down for a little bit, because if you manipulate it while it's hot and the glue's still kind of sticky and hasn't adhered, I feel that it gets all bumpy and doesn't lay as nice. So let it cool, it doesn't take long. Now, because I'm doing what I like to call a lazy applique, because I do not enjoy applique very much, I grabbed these Karen Buckley scissors. They have a tiny little bit of a serration on the scissors so that your fabric doesn't fray as much. And I find that this helps a lot if I'm doing a raw applique. And I'm just going to cut out the design. And this is how I know that I would never be able to applique around this design, is because it's even hard for me to cut around. There's a lot of angles and detail. So I'm just not the best at applique, so I just kind of try to avoid it. But sometimes there's just projects that just seem really cute that I'd like to do. So I just use my lazy applique method. And I'll show you what I mean by that after I'm done cutting this out. So after cutting it out, you're just going to remove the paper from the back of the interfacing, and you'll notice that there's like the glue still on the fabric. You want that to happen if you don't have the glue come up with the fabric. That means something went wrong with the pressing, you didn't press it long enough or something like that. So just make sure you feel the glue on the back of the fabric. So I just line it up and make it look centered, and then I'm going to press it in place. Now, here is where you might want to applique around it. And if you like to applique, definitely do that. Use a zigzag stitch or a blanket stitch. But you can see on my other mug rugs here, I did not stitch around the edge. So yes, it might fray. I'm fine with that. But what I did instead was I quilted very close together lines across here, just straight lines about 1/4 of an inch away. So this applique is not going to come up. So that's kind of my lazy applique method. Just do a whole bunch of quilting and it'll keep it in place, and it looks just as cute to me. So now I have the front and the back of the mug rug here, and what I'm going to do is just sew these 5-inch strips along each side, or along the opposite sides of the front and the back of the mug rug. So I'll just lay them right sides together, sew a 1/4 inch seam, and then I will press them, and then I'll be adding on the 6-inch strip to the opposite sides there. I'll press those as well, and then I'll be ready to move on to the next steps. All right, so now that the borders are on both of these, it's time to add the batting to the back of the front of the mug rug. So I just line it up so you have kind of a 1/4 inch around both sides, or all sides really. And if you need to baste it or pin it in place, go ahead and do that. Now I just am going to sew 1/4 inch stitches all throughout here, nice and close together, just going back and forth. Very, very simple. All right, so seriously, how cute is that already? Oh my goodness. So we're seriously almost done. This is a quick project. So just lay these right sides together, and from all the sewing and quilting, one could be a little smaller than the other. Just try to line it up the best that you can. And then I like to mark where I'm going to open this and turn it. And I try to make sure that it's on the bottom of the sweater. I don't know why, I just like it there better. Now, if you need to, you can clip to hold in place. And then what you're going to do is you're going to sew a 1/4 inch away from the edge all the way around. You're going to start sewing at one of your marked lines, back stitch really well, and then come around and end at the other marked line, back stitch really well. And then we're just going to clip the edges here so that we can push out the points really well. We'll flip this and then push out the points really well, iron it nice and flat, make sure that the edges here are turned inside, press it really well, and then we're just going to top stitch all the way around. It'll close up the opening and give a nice finished look. And this will be done. It's really easy at this point. All right, so seriously, how cute is that? And oh my goodness, these would be perfect to gift. They would be fun to take to the host of a ugly sweater party or any Christmas party, depending on the design you put on here. And they would be perfect if you brought a couple, because these would be great for guests to use to set their cup on, and they can just remember what fabric print they have. And they're honestly pretty cute reversible as well. So I only used a few of the fabrics from the pack, but let me know in the comments which one is your favorite, and are you going to use this idea to make some mug rugs as a gift? They are such a quick sew and turn out really, really cute. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.